Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel wherein I post the latest and update information about ESIC. My name is Jitendra and my contact details are being displayed on the screen. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more and more information about ESIC. If you have any doubts about ESIC and you need any information, please contact me through the contact details as displayed on the screen. I have started a Telegram channel. You can subscribe to the Telegram channel so that the latest videos that I post on the YouTube will be available on your mobile directly. Today's video is the third part of the series, types of notices from ESIC. In today's video we will see interest and damages part, what kind of notices are issued for these claims, the related notices, how to identify the notices, what are the rates of interest and damages, and other details about the interest and damages part. So let's start with the today's video. As you can see on the screen, whenever you pay ESIC dues late, interest and damages are claimed by ESIC. So the due date is 15th of every month. If any amount due to ESIC is not paid in time, interest and damages will be claimed from the employers. So interest and damages are claimed on the basis of days that the contribution have been paid late. So it is essential that you pay the contribution. On the basis of payment of contribution only, the delay can be counted. Once the delay is known, then only the calculation for interest and damages can be done. Once you pay the principal, then only these notices will come. Second part, if you pay the contribution late, then interest part start. The interest is claimed, C18 interest notice is issued. If you comply, then notice is closed. If you don't comply, then C19 notice is issued. If you comply, then it is closed. If you don't comply, then it goes to a recovery officer for further action. Damages, same part. D18 is issued claiming the damages. If you comply, it is closed. If you don't comply, then order under section 85A is issued. If you comply, then notice is closed. If you don't comply, then D19 order is issued. If you comply, then notice is closed. If you don't comply, then it goes for recovery to the recovery officer. This is brief diagram about how the interest and damage notices progress. We'll see interest part first. C18 interest is the notice issued by the ESIC to the employer. It indicates the calculation, the amount of delay, and the amount of interest claimed by the ESIC for the delay in payment of contribution. It requests the employer to pay the interest amount. Period of 15 days is given to the employer to comply. If the employer pays, he should intimate to the ESIC office from where he has received the notices. In C18 interest, there is no scope for appeal or challenging the notice. Minor calculation mistake, or if you have some other dates of payment of contribution, then you can bring it to the notice. Otherwise, there is no scope for personal hearing or providing opportunity to the employer. These notices directly go for a recovery. Only 15 days are given in C18 notice, and then if you don't comply, then C19 notice is issued. C18 notice is a letter to the employer telling him to pay the amount within 15 days of receipt of the notice, whereas C19 interest is a letter written by authorized officer of ESIC to the recovery officer of ESIC. Copy of this letter is marked to the employer. The letter says that this much amount has to be recovered from the employer. The recovery officer then, as per the provisions of ESI Act, recovers the dues from the employer. The employer has to know what amount is going to be recovered from him by the recovery officer. That's why a copy of this letter is always marked to the employer. So this is how C18 interest and C19 interest notices are issued. You can identify them from the writing on the right hand side top corner of the notices. I have marked them red, as you can see them on the screen. Now we'll go to the damages part. Damages is a penalty it is a penalty for delaying the payment to ESIC. Interest is charged because employer has used ESIC's money for his business purposes. Damages is a penalty to the employer that he has failed to pay in time, so he has to be penalized, so the damages are claimed. There is difference in interest and damages because of this reason. The rates of damages are increasing, whereas the rate of interest is fixed. The rate of interest is 12% per annum. It is calculated on per day basis. The rate of damages charged to the employer increase with the increase in delay. The more the delay, the higher the rate of damage is. As you can see on the screen, if the delay in making payment to ESIC is up to 2 months, it is 5%. If the delay is more than 2 months but less than 4 months, it is 10%. If the delay is more than 4 months but less than 6 months, then the rate of damages are 15%. And if the delay is more than 6 months, then the rate of damages is 25%. So longer the delay, the higher the rate of damages is. However, the amount of damage cannot exceed the basic contribution that was claimed from the employer. Suppose initial contribution amount was 1000 rupee and interest and damages are being charged on that 1000 rupee, then damages amount will never exceed 1000 rupees. It will be restricted to 1000 rupees maximum. So once the damages are calculated, a notice in the form of D18 is issued to the employer. Employer is given a time and opportunity of personal hearing, wherein he can bring it to the notice of authorized officer if there is any clerical mistake in calculations. Usually in personal hearing regarding damages, there is very less scope for reduction in the amount of damages or waiver of it. Only in cases where the employer has gone bankrupt and approached BIFR for restructuring, in those cases some scope for waiver of damages is there. Otherwise there is not much scope in reduction or waiver of damages, so it may not be much fruitful to attend personal hearing for damages as provided under D18 notice. You can pay the damages, else you can attend personal hearing and plead to the officer. On the basis of record produced or not produced, whatever the ground may be, the concerned officer passes an order under section 85B. In the order, the authorized officer has taken a decision that this much of amount has to be recovered from the employer. He gives a time of 15 days to deposit that amount. If the order 85B is not complied by the employer, then D19 notice is issued to the employer. D19 is again a letter to the recovery officer of ESIC from the authorized officer of ESIC requesting the recovery officer to recover determined amount of damages from the employer. A copy of this letter is marked to the employer so that the employer knows how much amount is going to be recovered by recovery officer of ESIC from the employer. So this is how the interest and damages parts are dealt with in ESIC. I am sure that the series of 3 videos on the notices will be useful to you in future. If you have any doubts and you want any clarification regarding them, you can always contact me on the contact details displayed on the screen. My next video will be on the latest instruction on Atal Bimit Vyakti Kalyan Yojana, a scheme for unemployment allowance under ESIC. Subscribe to this channel, spread it more so that more and more persons will know ESIC and avail its benefit. Thank you so much and all the best to all of you. Thank you.